Well, hello there, human to be earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. I'm Bushka, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, you've come for the third and what may well be the final installment of the Learning to Claw series. And I'm pretty sure that I'm set in my ways now with the claw and my layout. Now, I'm going to talk today about the layout, why I've got what I've got as a layout, the sensitivity settings I'm running at the moment, which I've been fiddling with a bit, and they may actually change a touch, but I'm not certain. Some of the crazy real-world problems that I ran into, which I solved and which I'm going to break down for you, so maybe you have a little bit more love, and the pros and the cons of both the process and the way I've gone about it and the end results. Now, firstly, I'm really happy I made the change. I think it was a very, very positive thing overall for my gameplay. I have dropped a little bit in sniping. It's coming back. You're going to see there's a real weird fluctuation in the kind of shots I hit. At times I get in a groove and it's just like bang, 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 everything works. A lot of the time I miss high with sniping at the moment. I'm going for, previously when I was using before I was using the claw as a thumb player, I feel like there's more stability and you're able to hold the iPad in a more casual, natural position. So you can actually get those fine pinpoint shots going a lot easier. And what I'm finding now is where I was going for the very top of the avatar's head, the headshot that you really want. So you got a little bit of area there for bullet drop to work and you're still going to get your headshot. Now I'm just overdoing it. The other thing is this, I went through a lot of work to find this setup and make sure it worked, and I ended up getting two books underneath a particular iPad cover or case. This one's by a Chinese mob called Targus, and it folds up into a triangle which I rested on. Now this, and I had to get the height right. This created the weirdest thing, and I'm going to tell you about this. I've been struggling in a few games lately to see targets. And you might guess this by looking at the angle the iPad's at now. That probably gives it away. But what happens is if you lay the iPad down too flat, then the backlit screen doesn't define the colors as well as it does when you've got it more upright. And when you're holding it in front of you on your face, you've got it parallel to your eyes. So it's very, very easy to see. When you've got it laying further flat down on a desk in front of you, well, that's completely different. It lowers that definition, in fact. So I was finding I wasn't seeing black-clad targets on a dark grass background at all. And I had to adjust that and figure that out. It took me ages to figure out why I was just getting killed and losing these gunfights. But I figured it out in the end. And that's a real-world issue. Secondly, I had very, very sore wrists when I started doing this. And I tried to do it holding an iPad up without actually using a stand or anything like that. And although I think I could maybe get away with it now, I might give it a try. My wrists really got punished. It was very, very tough. And I had to get a stand to take care of that. Now, I would suggest that maybe you take it easy. If you don't play a lot, then you'll probably gradually slide into it, and that's fine. But if you're having long sessions with an iPad Pro 10.5, you may in fact find that the level of discomfort in my left wrist particularly was worse. But I mean, I've got a lot of injuries from playing basketball and rugby and stuff. I've broken hands and things before, so I can't really speak to how it's going to be for you. But that's how it was for me. This is what I'm see that high shot there, and then he slightly corrects, and then all of a sudden, everything tracks. Now watch my right thumb in the hand cam. Watch the lean here. This is one of the reasons why I love playing claw. The tap, lean, tap, lean. That's really natural now while I'm still moving around and tap firing with my right pointer finger. Now claw is great, but there are a lot of people, if you're struggling with the claw itself, you can do a kind of baby claw. Now I used that in my first video, the paw they call it. God, there's the things that you learn. Where you only have a pointer finger on one side and a thumb that you use, like my right hand for instance, and the left side is just for moving around. I put my scope, my zoom in, and my jump key on the left. You can see them there just underneath the hand cam. The reason for that is it's really, really handy to have the ability to jump around and move and scope in while still tap firing and moving like that. That's that's a lot easier for quick scoping in on targets. And if you're going to go and do it, maybe do the paw first like I did, and then start moving the buttons around. And it really is trial and error. One of the biggest issues you're going to have is finding look how quick your scope is. One of the biggest issues you're going to have is finding, and this sounds nuts, finding a happy medium as to where your buttons are when you are looting. And you don't want to put the buttons too far over when you're looting that you can't reach them with your left thumb. And you're going to see in some of the video, you're going to see me reaching and taking my right hand off the iPad to tap with my pointer finger when I loot. And that's not perfect, but I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm starting to get used to it, and that's all natural, and it's becoming better. And if you look at the bottom middle of the screen, you'll see I've got my grenades dead center, just about where the revive button is, a little bit under that. See how I'm driving here? And the boost is actually, it's really annoying. You can't actually customize the drive controls. So the speed boost is right where I love the med kits and the boosters and the pills and everything to be, the Red Bulls, which is a bit of a punish. You sometimes can't touch that properly. And the left-hand button in that drive area that I had there is also just above the look around area that I have, but I've managed all that. Now you're going to need to change those things up, but I would recommend if you use the tap fire. See how when I tap the lean button, you can see it's highlighted in yellow there, and there's the jump button again coming in while I'm running. It's really, really easy. I have it on tap to lean, and then I tap it again to release that. And the reason that's handy for me is I also have it on scope. So when I lean, I scope in. That means you really want to make sure if you're running an AR, you've got a red dot on it, or a 2x or something. If you have a 4x, look at this. This is insane. This guy's Superman. I set this up perfectly. Okay, watch this. I'm going to slow this down. I knew, look at my hands. They're like, what the hell? What the hell? I knew that the zone was coming in around that corner. So I actually went back, and you'll see, I know he's got to come through the zone. So he's getting hurt. I start firing before he's even around the corner. He just waltzes through, gets hammered. I'm firing. He's in the zone. He gets hit multiple times. He just turns around and clears me with an AK with one burst. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. But that's RNG. You get that in the big jobs. You can't whinge about that too much. You set up, you do the right thing, you play the numbers correctly, and then, sometimes you get beat. Now, where was I? Yeah, so I tend not to put a 4x on my main gun if it's an AR, simply because when you are in corridor fights like this, if you've got an M416, for instance, with a 4x scope on it, and you lean out to get shots off, you're going to have an over zoom, and you can't control it. Like the target moves around too quick, and it's not as effective. So what I tend to look for, and what becomes more valuable for you, are those red dots. Unless you're on, say, Miramar or something. The 3x scope is just about it. Like the 3x scope's nearly perfect. You're going to see that's the lean I'm talking about. I'm tapping it. It's just above my right hand. So on my right hand side, I've got my prone, my crouch, my 2 tap to lean buttons. And here we go again. I'm going to set up. There's a tap to lean out there. And here we go, tap to lean. So valuable. I mean, it's just so valuable. We reload. We do it again. His buddy comes out here again. You can see on the right hand side, my right thumb is going to strafe out. And this is why you want to run claw. I'm holding down the button with I'm firing and I'm strafing, and all that works really well. It works really, really well with the M16A4. I mean, that's a crackerjack weapon to be doing this with. The thing isn't perfect, right? You can see the driving button there on the left-hand side. I mean, I could alter this, but I've managed to get used to it and learn to live with it. The areas on the bottom right corner of the screen and the bottom left corner of the screen, you just can't put things in because it's an awkward angle to drag your thumb all the way back. Now, this is very different for playing on an iPad as opposed to playing on an iPhone or an Android phone or something. I have to have, like, my hands are big. I'm 6'5". I got big hands, and you can see that's a 10.5-inch iPad, and it looks kind of like an iPad mini for some people. But I can't have anything in that bottom right corner, because that would ideally be great for my reload button and everything like that. But it means that you've got to kind of bend your thumb back and your nail starts doing the tapping, and that ain't cool. Hey, I'm going to get in a little gunfight here with these two guys. One of them obviously gets knocked. I saw there was a car in this yard, so I came in. I wanted to have a gunfight. I was trying to find... Poor old Swiss went link dead and died at military base. Look at the strafe. Look at my right button. So I'm doing the reload, and then I'm strafing, and then I'm firing with that tap on the right finger. Down, strafe, back up. That's the claw right there. That is close quarters combat. Why you run the claw. That is so much why I wanted to learn to do this. And it's been really, really cool for me. You're going to see here, we put a Gren in there. Grens can be difficult at first. I used to run 2 fire buttons, but I've just gotten used to running one. Someone pops behind me and starts shooting me, and I turn around. You're going to see, that's the 3x scope, the zoom in I'm talking about. I see that bloke over there, and I'm like, oh, hang on, there's another bloke there. And then we back down, heal up. You'll see my left-hand side. So left-hand side is controlling medkits, jumping, scoping, and movement. Right-hand side is controlling firing, weapon selection, grens, lying down, prone, crouching. That's such bad play there, but anyway, we got away with it because I mean this is, I think, low league duos on NA, and the tap to lean buttons. My bag is fine there. You're just going to have to work around all this and figure out what works for you. I've come to a happy medium. It's taken me a long time. I have spent so much time and lost so many games working on this, but I feel like it's been a really enjoyable experience to get to where I am now, where it's become natural and something that I don't think is going to go away, and I'm going to be able to use on all my mobile gaming in the future. So, rock on us. It was particularly cool having war mode. I think without war mode, this might have taken a lot longer to get down. With war mode, you get put in the thick of the battle constantly. You have to run around and just learn to close quarter strafe and fire and reload and scope and jump and do everything on a very, very condensed and adrenalized timeline. And that makes you a better player, and it makes you better at being, completely in sync with your controller setup. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this series. If you've got any questions, leave them below. Oh, I should probably talk about my sensitivity settings before we go. Everything for me is on high. It's very, very easy. Everything is on high. My graphics are HD and both, but my anti-aliasing is enabled, and the fluctuation on frame rates is enabled. You can see I'm tap firing here, like I'm a great one for the tap firing. But all my sensitivity is set to high. 100% custom high. Enjoy. Thanks very much for watching. Look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.